Swadika, welcome to Be My Guest. I'm Sandra Hanutsaha. What does it take to mold the next generation of hands-on professional graduates as well as an inspired lecturing staff that continues to evolve to take on this great challenge? Rajamongkol University of Technology, Thanyaburi, or RMUTT, has adopted new initiatives to do just that. How does it all work and what can we expect from this noble undertaking? Let's find out more right now. Swadika. Associate Professor Dr. Anaka, thank you so much for speaking with Be My Guest today. So we're here to talk about the CDIO framework. Can you tell us what is CDIO?
So CDIO is actually abbreviation from the Conceive, Design, Implement, Operate. It's actually an innovative education framework to produce new generation of graduates. So it started with the Faculty of Engineering from abroad, and it represents stages that the real engineers would go through. It means that in the real engineering work, they conceive the problem before designing for the user, implementing what they design. It can be product, process, or system, and then in the real, at the final is the operate stage.
Okay, so you said it originated from abroad. Where exactly does this framework come from?
The founders are 3 universities from Sweden, and 1 is MIT from United States. Later on, it widely spread to worldwide. At the moment, it's like 130 universities around the world who implement the CDIO framework.
And why has Rajamongkol University of Technology, Thanyaburi, or RMUTT, decided to implement this framework here?
So we have our partner, which is the Singapore Polytechnic, and then we get funding to train our faculty members from Temasek Foundation. That's where we started in 2012. So we are entering the 6th year. The framework represents what our vision of our university to produce hands-on professional graduates. So when we study, it felt very appropriate to adopt this framework and help our faculty members to design their curriculum, their teaching learning activities, their assessment, and also help our students to achieve a hands-on professional when they graduate from our university.
So that means that you felt that what you were doing before wasn't enough. So you looked for the CDIO framework, and this is what answered your needs?
Yes, we look around, and then at the time that we implemented, we already have some Thai qualification framework, but then we want something that with the guideline, how to, and then with the partners from around the world to learn and share from others also. And it's, I feel like it covers all elements of educational management. It means that we cover how we design our curriculum, how we teach with the enrichment of project-based learning, how the student can improve their interpersonal skills such as communication, teamwork skills, and later on with the quality assurance and assessment, it covers all elements of education. When we say reforming or reshaping education, it fell into these categories.
Okay, and when you were deciding, when you found this framework and you said this is what we want, did you have to apply? Did you have was it a long application process, or did you just go straight to Switzerland and say, we want this?
We start small, actually, just a group of faculty members at my department, is the Department of Industrial Engineering, and with my colleagues from agricultural engineering and computer engineering. So we start small from changing our lessons, and then later on we go a little bit more. It means that when it times come that every 4 years, we have to reform our curriculum or improve the curriculum. So in 2013, we go through the whole process of analyze what the industry needs, industrial requirement for our new graduates, and then we come to designing, the whole year of designing what will be a great experience for our students. So it means that we redesign the experience of the student in 4 years. When they come into a university, what we can do to motivate them, to inspire them, that okay, this is your path. At the end of the 4th year, you'll be ready to work as an engineer. That's what we aim for.
Okay.
And then later on, we implement like fully for our industrial engineering. And then later it go big. It means that we found that it's not only applicable to engineering fields, other non-engineering fields also can adopt this framework. So we go from engineering to mass communication, to liberal arts like tourism and hotel management, to architecture.
Wow.
And later on, the Thai Traditional Medicine College adopt, and now we have a new curriculum like innovation of health product. So it means that all of our university, any curriculum that want to have this CDIO based design, they can adopt this.
Okay, so at the moment,
Right.
how many of the faculties at the university are using this framework? All of them already or not yet?
For CDIO implementation, we look into 3 levels. It can be adopted at the course level. It means all 12 faculties of us. Some of our faculty members use the CDIO as one of the aspects is active and experiential learning. And then at the curriculum level, it means that the whole curriculum or the whole program can adopt the CDIO. And at the institutional level, it means that we support the CDIO can be a good foundation to help making students or graduates to be professional at the end.
Okay, so what is the feedback from the students themselves? So they get to study using the CDIO framework from year 1 all the way until they graduate. But you don't have any graduates yet, right? But what's the feedback from the students so far?
So the students who graduate this year, so far we have them through this project-based with design build test from year 2, 3, and 4. And then for the year 4, they have to go to the industry and do the cooperative education for 1 semester. We can see that at the beginning of year 2, they are inspired because they have been doing this project with their friends. It's a team-based activity, and they can improve their communication and teamwork skill along the way. So we feel that our graduates now, they are in the senior year, that they are so ready to go to the industry when they graduate.
So you feel that your students are learning practical skills that will make them ready for real work in the workforce?
They are so active. Like we haven't seen this kind of behavior at all. Like after the class, the student come to the professor and ask, how can we do this? It changed from the passive learning to become more active, and we hope that our students would equip with the lifelong learning, with the critical creative thinking skills, with teamwork communication skills, and others that we can look for in this new era of industries.
Okay, and so are there any subject departments that you feel should be using this but are not using this yet?
We don't say that. It's mean like it's so flexible. So they can adopt CDL in small pieces or in a big pieces. I don't see that any reluctant or any fields that cannot use. It can be applied to all fields. Yes.
And how is it very different from what you were doing before?
We can see the mindset change also from the faculty members, and how we have this full framework to cover us when we look into the continuous improvement. We see it clearer that, okay, next year, what should we focus on? Okay, we have good design of curriculum, and then we have changed our classroom into active experiential learning. And then what else? Okay, maybe next year we can do more of the workspace, that we design our workspace. We provide more spaces for the student to come in and work in groups. So we see clearer path of in which year would be our highlight for continuous improvement.
Okay, Dr. Natta, I need to ask you many more questions about this, but it's time for us to take a break. Stay tuned for more from Be My Guest. Welcome back to Be My Guest. We're speaking with Associate Professor Dr. Natta Kuptatsatian, Assistant to the President of RMUTT, about conceiving, designing, implementing, and operating, or the CDIO initiative. So I'd like you to explain to us a little bit more about the initiative. What exactly makes it unique? What are its strengths?
Okay, we can look into 2 focuses. Let's focus first on the faculty members. We have the program this program in Thailand, we need like program committee. One program would have at least 5 faculty members who look after this curriculum for the whole 4 or 5 years that student coming in. So when we look at this uniqueness of the CDIO, it's the clear how-to or guideline to help our program committee how to have the program run smoothly, and it helps with the linking of the courses in the curriculum. That when we say, okay, we want our students to be able to work in teams and communicate effectively, it means that we have to build the skills from year 1 to year 4. So with this linkage of courses, so the program committee can map the curriculum, like which course that would be focusing on these skills. So we don't do many things at the same time. So we have a really clear management how to do it. And then secondly, when we're focusing on the students had been teaching or taught with this enrichment of project-based. So it means the practical, and then we have a lot of design, build, test projects. So we want them to fail often and fail early. So to be a good engineer, it means that, okay, when you design, something may not working right. So we have them doing this design at the second year. So they can fail more and fail often.
You want them to fail more and fail
yes,
often.
fail often. So they know that when at the end of the senior project, when they design something is that needed or at the level of industrial link, they can be more confident in doing this design. So I would say that the uniqueness is helping the program committee and then also enriching the student experience.
Very interesting. And failure is one of the best teachers, actually. So then what are the obstacles or challenges that you face in implementing CDIO?
Okay. So first of all, it's the buy-in of the faculty members and also the misunderstanding what is the CDIO actually. Because it's a huge framework that cover all elements of education. So it means that sometimes people think that, okay, CDIO is just active learning. It means that in the classroom you do active learning. But it's go beyond that. It's active learning is part of the CDIO framework. CDIO framework can be adopted at the curriculum level. It means when you design the curriculum, you ask for the industry requirement first. What is the new competency of your graduates? What they want to be when they graduate? Okay, and then we design all courses and activities along the way. And moreover, it's the workspace. It means that we want to change the student behavior, and we believe that the environment or the workspace can help with that. So in some of the department already have this fabrication lab, or in short, it's Fab Lab. It means that the student can come in and then design and do some rapid prototyping, and okay, just pitch the idea to the problem, and is it working or not. So it's with this kind of elements, it can see that it covers all dimensions of education of the whole program for the student experience. We call it student experience a lot when using CDIO. What do you want the student to experience when you design these activities? And then another one is, I would say that because it's huge, like the whole framework, sometimes people feel that it's quite a heavy workload. And if not all faculty members understand, only 2 or 3 persons in the department, it becomes like resistant to change. So we hope that with our community, with some success stories from other programs, we can share that, okay, this is how we do with this, and if you want to do individual program, what can we help? So we have built quite a strong community of CDIO. At the moment, we have 27 master trainers. So we entitle CDIO master trainer similar to ambassador, because they go through the training heavily, like all year, 1 year training of CDIO framework, and then they need to implement it in their program. So they go through all the stages of designing curriculum, changing the classroom, changing student behavior, consulting students, do some assessment, program evaluation. They go through this. So it means that now we have several master trainers in many faculties.
Sounds very challenging.
Yes, and then they can share with their colleagues, and also at the end of academic year, we group them and then we ask them, what are your challenges? What can we help at the university level? What can the management team of the university support you more? So this is how we implement the CDIO.
Very, very interesting indeed. Let's go back to the graduates. Now, you said you will be having some students graduating, the first graduates under the CDIO initiative, right? So what do you hope to see from the graduates?
We hope that when they enter the industry doing real life work, they can adapt themselves very quickly. Instead of 3 months or 6 month training, we hope to hear that the industry is satisfied of our graduate competencies, that okay, they're ready to work, they're equipped with what competency or skills that the industry look for. And also we are quite proud that we are the first Thai university who is the CDIO initiative members of the worldwide CDIO.
Have the students themselves complained any about the program, or is it too rigorous for them, or are they adapting?
I would say that the students need to change too, because they go through many kind of passive learning. They still look for something that okay, they can sit in the classroom relaxing, and then the teacher would speak and lecture. But then when we change, it means that student needs to work more, a little bit more. So we focusing on learning. So we change our mindset that okay, you go there in the classroom not just teach, but then you have to learn. So we explain to our students a lot that okay, let's focusing on your learning. When you work more, do you learn better? Okay, that is our focus. So it needs a lot of explanation. And then when the student come into the first, second year, and now we can see that because of our faculty members change the way they teach a lot, now they started to feel like, okay, this is how we doing the teaching learning in our universities. So from maybe 4 or 5 years ago, the student complained more that okay, they have to work very hard. But now, okay, all subjects will be like this. So they know that this is how we learn in the university level.
Well, Associate Professor Dr. Natha, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much for explaining CDIO to us, and best of luck on it. ขอบคุณค่ะ สวัสดีค่ะ If you're just tuning in, you're watching Be My Guest, and we're now speaking with Dr. Wantani Kategaon of the Division of Biology of the Faculty of Science and Technology here at RMUTT. สวัสดีค่ะ Dr. Wantani. So I hear you just came back from Finland.
Yes, of course.
Just yesterday.
Yesterday, yes.
So you were there because RMUTT is receiving support from Finland University for the development and growth of its instructors. Can you tell us, what is this all about?
I have a good chance to join this training program, Finland Model. I feel like Finnish teachers can be as a role model of us for teaching. They teach us how to lecture and how to create learning environment. They coach us and they give us some inspiration and happiness to be a good teacher. I feel very happy. Everybody feel happy so much.
So how did you get involved in this program?
Because like you know, our university can support every teacher to be to training this program. Then I start to join this program because I have many questions. Why Finland have a best education ranking in the world, like you know, and why does the government can make their people interest in education first? And I think I want to learn many things. Actually, I want to learn many things about technique in education, because I always think that students have many internet accession. They love to play YouTube, Facebook, and everything. I think it's cause makes my student lot focusing. You know that why I want to join this program.
And after joining the program and going through the training,
Yes.
do you think that you have found the answer to the best way to teach?
A lot. I think I have learned a lot because in the first thing I want to say, Finland model can change my mind. In during training, it make me understand and know that what is the most important thing of education. It's just a simple idea. We just understand about two words, teacher and student, and try to find a way how to connect between teacher and student. They teach me know that acting and listening what is your student want to learn. It can also help this connection, and they open my heart to believe that there are different skill and talent of each student, and understand that the nature of student, and they teach us know that self-learning and learning from other experience can make students get easily into the critical thinking. It would be help them to solve that problem. I think it's very important about education.
So before going to Finland, do you do any training here in Thailand?
Yes, in actually this program we started at October 2017 until April 2018. It's quite almost 6 months, and we have 10 days for contact session with Finnish teacher, 5 days in Thailand and 5 days in Finland. And during that time, we have contact session through the online webinar, and we have many assignments in every week. We can share every idea, discuss about teaching with member in our group in every days.
So is it individual work you were doing or group work?
We have both things.
Both kinds.
Yeah.
And how do they assess you?
That I talk. In the beginning, I don't know anything about learning much, but this training can open my heart to learn about how to create learning management. Because at the first time, Thailand teacher quite familiar with teaching by teacher center, with teachers stand in front of the class and transfer direct information to student. So in my opinion, I think it might not enough for support student, especially student in 21st century, because that many kind of internet here. So after I training, I know that it's not Finland model. It's not have limitation of education. Everything that I have taught and I have learned, it can be good. We can learn from that mistake. So I feel happy a lot.
So when you went to train in Finland, were you was it just a group from Thailand, or were there other educators from any other countries studying in the training as well?
Only in Thailand.
Only from Thailand. Okay. And how many of you went?
In my group, about 30 people.
Wow. And are you the first group that went, or the first group of lecturers?
Yes.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you're like the pioneers. Okay. And does everyone in the group of 30 lecturers, do they all share your feelings? Do they feel the same?
Everything. We're so happy about training. We can share and discuss together, and we can share the experience for student experience, everything, the problem, everything. We can learn from that mistake, and we can improve ourselves to be a good teacher, because I really believe that nobody born to be a good teacher, but we have to improve ourselves in every time to find a way for support student, and let student can creating the motivation and inspiration by themselves. That is very important.
So teachers need to continue to evolve.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you were in Finland, did you have the chance to observe teachers there?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
They take me and us to tour around the university at Tampere, and we have learned about Finnish students have inspiration to learn in higher education. I feel like the university have many facilities and laboratory rooms that are available for support students practicing. And if they want to make their own business, they have team organization to support and suggest them. And I feel that like students learn together, they have more responsibility and they can share any idea because like they sit together in different groups and share every knowledge that they learn, and teacher will go along with that student.
Okay, so you said like the old way, like in Thailand, is teacher-centered, where the teacher stands in front of the classroom. In Finland, what did you see the teachers doing?
They focus by emphasizing as student center, like they find many kind of activity for student engagement. Every activity like a group discussion, role play, and game playing to encourage students, and they let them create critical thinking by themselves.
Okay, and so now that you're back in Thailand, have you finished the program yet?
Yes, but we have to go continue. Like I want to develop my course by use the model of Finland. I will develop my course by always think about constructive alignments. It means it has 3 points: learning outcome, learning activity, and learning assessment, because I always think that if we have the goals that we want students to achieve, we should think about what kind of learning activity and learning assessment to promote and support that goals.
Okay, well, thank you so much for speaking with me, my guest today, Dr. Wantani. สวัสดีค่ะ Ratchamongkol University of Technology Thanyapuri, or RMUTT, is clearly a pioneer when it comes to providing an innovative educational framework aimed at producing the next generation of hands-on professional graduates. And because they have a structure dedicated to ensuring that not just their students but also their educators continue to develop, the university is well poised to add great value to education itself in Thailand. I'm Sandra Han Utsaha. Thank you for watching Be My Guest. สวัสดีค่ะ